This. So Sean Spicer made the news yet again. He cannot seem to keep his foot out of his mouth, and every time he seems to top himself just a little bit more. So I've got a clip for you. We'll take a look at that, and then we'll talk about it a little bit.
Thanks a lot, Sean. The alliance between Russia and Syria is a strong one. It goes back decades. President Putin has supplied personnel, supplied military equipment to the Assad government. What makes you think that at this point he's going to pull back in his support for President Assad and for the Syrian government right now?
I think a couple things. You look, we didn't use chemical weapons in World War II. You know, you had someone as despicable as Hitler who didn't even sink to using chemical weapons. So you have to, if you're Russia, ask yourself, is this a country that you and a regime that you want to align yourself with? You have previously signed on to international agreements, rightfully acknowledging that the use of chemical weapons should be out of bounds by every country. To not stand up to not only Assad, but your own word should be troubling. This is Russia put their name on the line. So it's not a question of how long that alliance has lasted, but at what point do they recognize that they are now getting on the wrong side of history in a really bad way really quickly. And again, look at the countries that are standing with them. Iran, Syria, North Korea. This is not a team you want to be on. And I think that Russia has to recognize that while they may have had an alliance with them, that the lines that have been crossed are ones that no country should ever want to see another country.
Hey. So Hitler, no chemical weapons. I've got to say something about this. We invoke Hitler way too much. Hitler was a horrible human being. Not that we haven't had horrible human being, just as bad. Mao had his moments and Stalin had his moments. But yeah, Hitler, pretty fucking bad. Not that all those other tyrants didn't have their moments, but yeah, Hitler, pretty horrible. And I think we just invoke him a little bit too much. Everything is a comparison to Hitler. But anyway, he says that, even Hitler wouldn't use chemical weapons. Wow. Does he not know history, or is he just basically just talking out of his ass? Stuff just flies out of his mouth and he's got to catch it. I just don't know if he's stupid or intentionally trying to be evasive. Just, that whole word salad, talking in a circle just so you can't get a grip on the conversation. Maybe that's his tactic. I don't know. But for your information, it's called Zyklon B. They did use it on their own people. They were not just German Jews, but also Polish Jews and Russian Jews. So, Hitler did do that, and we hated it then, and we're not fans of it now. But we also have to keep in context that they're not, Syria is not the only country that's ever used chemical weapons. I don't know. Let's, other than Hitler, who can I come up the top of my head with? Us, the United States. Right now, we're using depleted uranium in Syria. Right now. Did we talk about that? We talk about all the bombs that we drop? No, not a mention of it. Last month, 200 civilians were killed in a bombing raid, in a drone strike raid. 200 civilians. They don't talk about that. All they seem to really mention is, the babies. Don't get me wrong, man. That's a horrible picture. But where's our reference point? Where's our context? Where were those pictures taken? I mean, a lot of it seems rather hinky to me. This will go, and I'm sure I'll talk about this in another video, but the lack of investigation, the immediate blame game that they play, placing the blame right there at Assad immediately, and they really don't ever talk about the stuff that we do. One of the first things that Donald Trump did was send a raid in Yemen, where over 30 civilians died, including a bunch of children and an 8-year-old girl. Rarely does that get mentioned. The only time it was mentioned, I believe, was when Donald Trump gave his first address to Congress, and he walked that grieving soldier's widow out while she's bawling her eyes out. And it was such propaganda. It was horrible, distracting us all from what really happened. Oh, don't get me wrong. I feel terrible for that woman. But the person who is most responsible for that woman's pain was standing at the dais right in front of the vice president and the Speaker of the House. That's him. It was an ill-advised raid. When Obama was offered the gig, he said, no, not going to happen. Donald Trump's like, oh, let's do it. Yeah, it'll make me look strong. So 30 civilians die. We didn't get the intel. Well, first it was, oh, we got the bad guys. Okay, then you find out they didn't get the bad guys, but we got the intel. Then you find out they didn't get the intel. And then you find out that it was 30 civilians. Then you find out we lost a helicopter and we lost an American soldier. Sounds like pretty much all-around failure to me. Meanwhile, they're just touting from the rafters, and they have the media behind him, and especially Fox News, saying how wonderful it was and how strong he is, and that's the day he became president. Look, he became president on January 21st when he took the oath of office. We could say all day long he's not my president. He certainly doesn't represent my values, and I can't stand the man. But unfortunately, legally, he is our president. But this whole, that's the day he became president, doing the most wretched, horrible things. We applaud this man for doing some of the nastiest things, humanity is capable of doing. We say that Syria is bad. Assad is a bad guy. He is not a good man. But let's go back a little bit and look at Syria. They are supposed to be a secular socialist government, meaning there's a lot of different religions, so it's not one specific religion. But now they're fighting tooth and nail to make it all Muslim. With the rebels and which the rebels are Al-Qaeda and al-Nusra and every different faction you could possibly think of fighting over this land. But how dare Russia be friends with Syria? How dare Russia be involved with Iran? Well, who is our ally? They talk about all the atrocities that Iran and Syria do. Our ally is Saudi Arabia. I mean, that's Salafism right there. That's ISIS. That's chopping off heads in public squares. We don't let women drive. We keep them dressed fully head to toe in burqas. That is extremism. That is a theocracy. It is run by one religion. But yet, they are our allies, and we sell them weapons. We buy their oil, we sell them weapons, they use those weapons on all kinds of people throughout the Middle East. But they're our ally, so we don't say a word about them. But, Assad and, bombing his own people, on Russia being associated with them, they're bad. But we're good, we're America. It just frustrates me. I mean, right now, they are using cluster bombs. Saudi Arabia is using cluster bombs in Yemen. Cluster bombs that they bought from us. Cluster bombs that are illegal. But we sell them to them. They use them. They're killing thousands and thousands of Yemenis people. They have a blockade right now, starving 17 million Yemenis people at the moment. We don't say a word, because we get our oil from them. They are our ally. So I don't want to hear any of this hypocritical nonsense about how bad Russia is when we do the same stuff. Anyway, I'm just sick of it. Hey, this is Antoinette from Transistor Rodeo. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe for more videos and content, and you can follow me on Twitter at Transistor Rodeo.